Hi everyone, it's Sherry and welcome to The Eyes Have It. This is my Q&A answers video. So I'm going to attempt to answer the questions that you asked earlier in the month. I'm doing this extemporaneously because I think that's the best way to do it, which means I haven't read these questions since the day you gave them to me. Okay, first question from Tweets. Tell me your favorite quote. There's a quote that I made up that I live by, and that is, life is short, do what matters. And another one is, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. All right, Candy Powder and Blush. Is there a day that you would love to relive, like living it a second time for 24 hours, and why? I did think about this a little at the time when you first asked the question, and I thought, ooh, that's really tough. But you know what I think I would do? I consider myself a nice person. I try not to ever hurt feelings, but when I was young and dumb, I had a very sweet boyfriend. His name was Jack, and he had issues. He was a Vietnam veteran, and he had a drug problem. And this was something that did not go over well with me at all. Suffice it to say, New Year's Eve came around, I ran into an old boyfriend, and things went awry. I made some bad decisions, and I broke Jack's heart, and I never saw him again. So if I could go back and relive that day, I would make a wiser decision. Gigi and Makeup asks, what is your favorite holiday? That's a tough one. My life has changed a lot in the last 5 to 7 years. I guess I would still say Christmas. PJ Danita, who is a new subscriber of mine, hi and thank you. She asks, great video quality. What camera and editing software do you use? I use a Sony Handycam HX220. I think what it is. And the editing software I use is Corel Video Studio Pro, and I'm using one version back from the one that just came out. Alex Muse says, hi Sherry, would you be interested in opening a P.O. box for letters? Yes, absolutely. I've been thinking about that for about 6 months, or maybe almost a year, and I just haven't done it yet because of the cost, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. Where is your favorite place for makeup shopping? Probably Sephora. Are you dating or married? Neither. I am single, never married, and I am not dating. I have not dated in about 20 years. I'm at that point in my life where it's just not something that I need in my life. See Sophie, who is another one of my newer subscribers, and if you don't know her, please go check her out. She's a young lady who backpacks all over the world, and she just has the coolest channel. I'd love to know how you came up with the idea to start a YouTube channel. That I have addressed in previous Q&As, and I will put the answer video that addresses that down below. Obviously, most people with beauty channels are quite young. No, they aren't. You just don't know them. There are loads of us in our 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. And I wanted to ask how you always stay so positive and how you react to hate comments. I have been very blessed. Let me knock on wood. I don't have a lot of hate comments. I've had some, but I know as my channel grows, it's going to be worse. And, you know, I see it on other people's channels. I see it on the really big people's channels like Candy Johnson and all that. So, I mean, I kind of know what to expect. In terms of staying positive, the year before I retired, which was 2007, I read The Secret, the book, The Secret. And it just struck a tone in me. It was the perfect time in my life to read that book. It changed my life. And, I mean, I don't mean that in a small way. It just, not necessarily the book itself, but the message in it, and also just, you know, the positive, the parts about staying positive and that you bring into your life what you think about And obviously, if you want bigger and better things, you have to think positive thoughts. If you live in a down, depressed, dark place all the time, then you're just going to bring more of that. And trust me, ladies, don't think I don't know anything about depression. I've been a depressive for much of my life. I'm not a severe depressive, but I have my moments. And with all this upheaval that's been going on in my closest friend circle over the past 5 years, I've had a lot of it. But that doesn't mean I have to keep my head in that space. Even when I'm depressed, I'm trying to find my way to the what do they call it? The silver lining. The silver lining. I'm trying to find the good. Because what I have noticed, or what I have, I guess, observed in the world, no matter how bad a day I have ever had in my life, it is not a fraction as bad as many, many other people in the world. So I always consider myself blessed and grateful, and I try to stay positive. It's a choice you make every day. Today's going to be a good day. Beauty by Anne Marie. I'm always interested in hearing about backgrounds, a little about your family, and also what kind of jobs you had. In terms of background, I am, because I've been asked for this by a couple different people, I am going to do a video about my life and, growing up and my earlier years and some pictures and all that kind of stuff. So I won't go into detail now, but I will say I grew up in a tiny town in Ohio, and not a very happy family, not a very close family. I love them. They're my family. But we just don't have the kind of relationship that a lot of families do. And so I left home at 18. I started work for the government, the U.S. federal government, and I worked there for 37 years. I started out in the Pentagon as a secretary, and then I worked my way up, and then I went to USDA, Department of Agriculture, worked my way up into lower management, and retired making $100,000 more than I made when I started, which doesn't sound like a lot if you're in Silicon Valley or something, or if you were born wealthy, but in the government, that's a chunk of change. Donna Rhodes asked how and why you started your YouTube channel. I've already told that story a couple of times, so I'll just link that video below. Susan W., what is the thing you are most proud of in your life, and what is the thing you regret the most? This is one of my favorite questions of everything that I got. I just think it's a really cool question, and it really makes you think. The thing that I'm most proud of, I could go really easy and say being a big sister. I'm very proud of being a big sister. I'm very proud of being a volunteer in general. As soon as I retired, in 2008, in the summer, I never worked for money again. Since then, I've only volunteered. And I've done a lot of different things, mostly for children. And I still am tutoring in kindergarten, first and second grade. The thing I regret the most, the thing that I was talking about earlier about Jack, is probably the thing that I regret the most. I also regret that my father died in 1981, and it's a complete mystery today. He just cut me out of his life and started sending my Father's Day cards back and my Christmas cards back. I have no idea what I did. None. And so I feel really bad that during that period he died, and I had no idea that he'd even been ill. So I regret not being in his life to know that and be able to see him before that happened. Melissa Pesco, she says, I have 2 questions. What's your best feature, and how do you like to accentuate it? My best feature is my eyes. I just really, even though I'm old, I just really feel like I love to use color. I mean, you can see today, not shy about using color, and I just really feel that using color, number one, makeup is a creative outlet for me, and when I say I love to play in makeup, I truly love to play in makeup. I'll get in there and I'll be like, what does this look like together? You know what I mean? So it's not just like this drudgery of putting on my makeup every day. It's play for me. If you had to choose between doing your hair and doing your makeup, which would it be and why? I do not wear makeup every day. I'm retired. I live at the beach. Very casual vibe here. So day to day, I do not wear makeup. So I guess in that respect, I would choose doing my hair. But when it comes to going out, like today I went to a concert. When it comes to going out to dinner, going out to the theater, you know, whatever, I want to have a face on. And I have very short hair anyhow, so it's not like my hairdo is going to be anything great. So for dress up, I would choose makeup. For every day, I would choose hair. Cody asked, what made you decide to get into YouTube? And I've been asked that, so I will again link that video. Mary Ellen Scholand said, I would like to know about your family and where you were raised. Do you have any siblings? What size shoe do you wear? I wear anywhere between a 5 and a 6, depending on the type of shoe. I have little feet, but I call them Fred Flintstone feet because they're very wide and very short, so they're like little blocks. Okay, do I have any siblings? Yes, I have 2 brothers, one in Florida and one in Indiana, so we're spread all over. About my family and where I was raised in Ohio, and again, I'll do a different video on that with some pictures of me from little up. I look the same, truly. If you look at I still have my yearbook from my first grade year. If you look at my first grade class picture, you know, all of us sitting on our little chairs, I look exactly like this. I really do, except my hair was blonder. I had like white blonde hair when I was little. It's crazy. Everybody can recognize me if they haven't seen me for 30 years. Okay, northern part. She wants to know about the town I live in. I live in a beach town in Delaware. It's called Rehoboth Beach. It's a lovely little town. It is very small, though. I mean, it's not as small as the town I come from in Ohio, but it's pretty small, and therefore we don't have a Target. We don't have an Ulta. We have to drive an hour to get to any of that stuff. PetSmart, any of that stuff. We have outlets here for the tourists, but that's about it. And it's a lovely historical town. The town, not our town, but we are smooshed up against another town called Lewes, L-E-W-E-S. And that, I believe, is the first town in Delaware, or one of the first towns. It's in Delaware. It's a very historical town. Beautiful town, too. Okay, Jules asked, what was the first record you bought? Well, the first record I ever owned was not bought by me. My father was in one of those like RCA record clubs back in the 60s, and he got me, I think my very first one was Petula Clark. And she was a big deal at the time for a song called Downtown. A Mysterious Journey. What is your favorite subscription box this year? Well, as of this week, it's probably FabFitFun. But no, I really do love BoxyCharm. It just arrived, by the way, and so that will be next. Molly Babbitt. Are you ever going to do videos that have to do with your outfits? I love them. Well, you know, I've been asked before by a lot of the younger girls, could I do a lookbook? And you know, my answer is always the same, and that is, I'm retired, therefore I don't have a job to go to every day. I live at the beach. It's very, very casual. The average thing, what I wear on an average day is, you know, during the winter, sweatpants and a sweatshirt to walk the dog in. I don't dress up a lot other than if I'm going out to a show, concert, whatever. So I just never really felt like I had stuff that would make a good lookbook. I mean, nobody wants to see a lookbook of a fat woman in sweatpants, okay? Let's be real. This girl asked how my Christmas and Thanksgiving was. Not the best. Oh, that's Kibble Cake. She must have changed her name. It wasn't my best Thanksgiving and Christmas. Let's just put it that way. It was fine. Okay, that's it. And I think I forgot to post for questions on Instagram and Snapchat, so I don't have any questions from there this time, and I don't think I had any on Facebook either. So that is it. Okay, as to what's coming next, NatureBox has already been filmed, but is not yet edited. BoxyCharm will probably be filmed this evening or tomorrow. And then, depending on what Jasmine is in the mood for when she comes over tomorrow, we may do Little Sis Does My Makeup. It seemed like there were a lot of people excited about seeing that. Not sure how excited I am about being in it, but no, she'll do great. I really, really love and appreciate how much you guys enjoy the videos with her in it, and don't get upset about the fact that I'm having this 10-year-old kid in my videos. I love that you accept her and just cherish her and love her so much, because she is really, really a great kid. All right. Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you so much for subscribing and being here and for watching this. And I will see you next time. Take care. Be well. And always be yourself. Bye.